give ourselves a chance. And if they do that, with players like Uacho on this left wing and McGilvery on the right, have got every bit of determination to put their side ahead.
Okay, lights at full brightness then as we get ready for the kick-off here. And it's going to be Darnell McIntosh who gets us underway. It's a big night for Huddersfield. Was it simply a flash in the pan last week, or are they going to produce this sort of charge from the kick-off and that sort of defence for the full 80?
Well, just don't let Saints march it upfield with some strong carries. But on the outside backs for Saints were tremendous. Every one of them getting over 100 metres last week. But James Roby back in the fold, leading his troops, bringing his forwards onto the ball. And Kumatai coming up with a decent shot on Alex Walmsley then.
And this is exactly the start that this Huddersfield side made against Wigan at the DW Stadium last week. Look, they've had 4 tackles, the Saints. They've only made 20 metres progress forward. They might make a bit more here now, because this is Kevin Nagama. He tries to get the ball out to Tommy Makinson, and well, the Huddersfield fans thought that he had dropped the ball, and Scott Mikalauskas says that ball was stolen from him. It's a penalty to the Saints.
Well, that's the danger that St Helens possess. They can spread the ball, doesn't matter how close to their own line. They have the confidence and ability to deliver that, and I tend to agree with the referee. There was a hand in that, and Saints get a cheap penalty in easy metres.
And more metres forward by Alex Walmsley. Well, they restricted them to 20 metres in the opening few tackles, but now look where St Helens are, deep in Huddersfield territory here. And it's Zeb Teya who will go down on the tackle. And Luke Thompson will drive the ball forward. Ike Hihifo was in there very quickly to make sure that he wasn't making too much progress. But they're 15 metres away from the Huddersfield line. Here is Roby. There's busyness all round the field for St Helens. This Dominique Peyrou. 4th tackle, 2 remaining. They're very close, and this is Morgan Knowles. He goes down, tackle number 5. Last one coming up here. Big test of Huddersfield defence early on. It's with Lomax. Shape to pass, gave it then to Mark Percival. And Percival just loses the ball. But Matt Frawley carries it over the line. And it is a goal line dropout coming up.
Well, he hits some good angles, doesn't he, Mark Percival? Look at the strength when he gets through here. Loses possession as he's getting over the try line. But always eager, always looking for work, Mark Percival, whether it be on the edge, using his speed, or whether it be up the middle of the field. And Sean Long, wow, he used that to knows the chance gone begging there.
Well, they put a very similar play on playing against Warrington last season, where instead of kicking on last tackle, they find their most dangerous runner moving at speed, and they thought, didn't they, when he brought through the line, that it was the first 6 points. Not on this occasion, but they've got 6 more players to score on this set.
Here is Walmsley now, that little shot of Sean Long, frustrating that Mark Percival didn't get over the line. He was in that 1996 squad that came here and were beaten to end their unbeaten start to that season, but St Helens needn't have worried on that particular night. They went on and they won the treble in that year. And Saints with the eyes on the treble at least, and here is one of those cheap penalties. Wardle not out of the rough, and the ball was played against him.
Well, they're always looking to play the game quick, and this is 4 sets of 6 now that they've, or the 4th set of 6 that they've had to defend here. All the pressure's been on Huddersfield early on.
That unbeaten run coming in 2006, not 1996. It's a bit more than 13 years. Barry told me that. This is Roby now.
My maths is excellent.
I know. This is Farge. Once again, Ty comes forward.
Hold!
Has got Roby behind him. Tries the pass to Luke Thompson. Luke Thompson is over for the try. The crowd at the far side just look to the other end of the field, and they see Mr. Mikalauskas pointing to the spot, and St Helens are ahead in the opening 4 minutes here with Luke Thompson. Thompson, his 2nd try of the season, 1st try against Leeds.
Well, 4 minutes gone and 4th set of 6 that they've had to deal with. Saints asking an awful lot of questions this Huddersfield line. You can see good footwork, wasn't it, from Luke Thompson. Beat Takuma Tai. They had good attacking shape on the right-hand side, Saints, but Luke Thompson, knowing that there's some space around the ruck, has the footwork, and he gets over the try line.
I'm delighted for Luke Thompson to score a try like that. He's renowned in Super League for running onto the ball at 100 miles an hour and being difficult to stop. He's obviously shown people he's got footwork, recognition, and he knows where that try line is as well. Good stuff from the front row.
And Lachlan Coote adds the extras. He's taken over the goal-kicking responsibilities just recently.
Well, we've seen Alex Walmsley score tries in recent games. Here's the other front row, starting front row, Luke Thompson. And you're a dangerous team. It's the reason probably why they sit at the top of the table. When they've got players in the middle who can score, players a little wider, and then players ultimately on the wings who are great at finishing. And that threat across the whole width of this field is going to be a problem for Sam Woolford's side tonight.
Luke Thompson, the 2018 St Helens Player of the Year. He only missed 2 games throughout the course of last season. And just as they did about 5.5 minutes ago, Huddersfield start the match again. High hanging kick, another good chase. This is where Huddersfield want to play this game, inside the St Helens half of the field. But that is easier said than done. Here is Percival again.
Well, that's right. They know what they want to do. They've just got to make sure that they execute that game plan. The line speed's got to be good. The contact's got to be good on the likes of Alex Walmsley. Don't let him get metres after contact. You see him landing on his front really quick. James Roby jumping out.
Good scoot again from Roby, but good tackling by the Huddersfield defenders. It was Akumatai and Michael Lawrence. This now is Regan Grace, brand new. Beg your pardon, it's Kevin Nagama. The fact about Regan Grace is he's got a brand new contract extension signed till the end of 2021 on Tuesday. That's not the best kick though. Darnell McIntosh content to allow the ball to bounce and go dead. It's from Theo Farge.
He takes the bounce and he doesn't take the ball on the full. It could have been a nasty one, that. It bounced back into the field and going into a St. Ann. Darnell McIntosh has got to catch them on the full.
It is quite hard to judge, but it's very windy, of course, very stormy. Is it Storm Gareth? We're currently in the middle of all that, and yeah, the fullback will want to catch them, but when the wind's swirling, it's all the more difficult.
This is Cruz Leeming, man of the match, and a try against Wigan last week. It's Gaskell against his former club, a dink over the top, but very well watched by Lachlan Coote. He escapes the clutches of Gaskell and sets that man Regan Grace on his way. And Regan Grace is looking here to celebrate his new contract. Just had the ankle tap, it was enough. It dislodged the ball as well as he tried to regather his feet.
Well, they've had 2 chances in this game. He does all the hard work, Regan Grace. He beats the fullback, he's got space in front of him. He's lightning. He gets through here, he scores a try. Mark Percival as well, he blew a chance underneath the sticks. Saints could already been 7 minutes gone, be 12 points up.
In his defence, what he's trying to do is put that ball in his left hand so he can hand off the Huddersfield defender. Unfortunately, fumbles. Can't let that one on the wing, just a clean drop and a chance gone begging for St Helens.
Okay, shot clock off.
So it's Huddersfield's head and feed. And they'll come forward again with Michael Lawrence. Came off the bench last week and had a fine game at Wigan, and I think that's probably persuaded Simon Woolford to play him from the start tonight. This is Ikehihifo, and he plays the ball to Leeming again. Weaving run, he finds Gaskell. Gaskell then to Alex Mellor, the one who played well against Wigan. In fact, they all played well against Wigan last week.
They all played well, they all knew what the job was.
Leeming again. Gaskell once more, just drops the pass off to Big Ikehihifo. He gets through the first challenge, great offload as well. Frawley with a dab towards the corner. There's work here for Makinson to do, and he does it. Drop back.
A lot of that emanated from the offload again, from the Ikehihifo. Last week, that was a massive difference in Huddersfield's style of play so far this season. They've been relatively conservative, but no, at Wigan, they kept the ball alive, and they've done exactly the same here again. Great offload, kick through, and on the frontier attacking, Makinson clears it. But it'll be their turn now to goal line drop out to the opposition, and we can see just how good Huddersfield are at converting their field position into points.
Lachlan Coote barking out the instructions to his fellow defenders here as he gets the goal line drop out away. Nasty little bounce that nearly eluded Frawley. Gives it then to the big fellow once again, Akumatai. He's played in the last 3 matches, he missed the first 2. Leeming, dummy half. Ikehihifo again. He's taking it forward on every opportunity, the big fellow. This now is Lawrence. Back he comes again to Frawley, and he loses the ball forward into the arms of Theo Farge.
Well, good defence from Saints, then not panicking. There was some decent surges from Ikehihi for Akumatai, just carrying the ball forward.
Okay.
Saints dealing with the threat.
Good hit. Great hit by Dominic Peyrou, dislodged the ball. Here's Percival again for the Saints.
Hold. Goal 2.
26-4 win at the AJ Bell Stadium 2 weeks ago. It was their 10th consecutive Super League away win. And here is Alex Walmsley, and he gets a great offload away to Theo Farge.
Nice little ball from Morgan Knowles to Alex Walmsley.
Now it's Lomax. Lomax gets it wide, dab to the in-goal area. I think that's going to be too long.
It hadn't hit the ground, had it? He's taking it over play. Oh, what a terrible play by the winger there. That's just horrendous concentration from somebody there who's not aware that that ball has to hit the floor before it's deemed out of play. He's carried it out of play, and St Helens will get the ball again.
Yes, just explain that to us, Stuart, would you?
Yeah, the ball is only dead once it hits the grass outside the field of play. It's to try and encourage players to play at the ball, try and flick it back in, make it more exciting play. But he's picked up the ball, so he's made that ball dead.
So a mistake from a very experienced player in Uarte, but it has gifted St Helens more tackles and more pressure on this defensive line. Roby gets it away to Thompson again.
Brought his dancing feet with him tonight. Evading defenders, nice footwork. Lovely short interplay between the forwards for St Helens tonight. Really effective.
Lomax goes down on tackle number 3. Theo Farge once again. Short ball to Walmsley.
Surrender!
Tries to go inside Leeming. There was help there for him in the shake of Ikehihi Fo. Roby.
Okay.
Farge again. Goes wide to the left-hand side. That's good defence. That's tremendous defence from Jordan Turner.
Well, that's what you call a ball and all tackle from Turner.
Lachlan Coote thought there was a chance on there. Here now is Farge. Tries to dab it through, but Gaskell read the strip perfectly there.
It was a poor kick, wasn't it, in the French international? The Huddersfield fans now getting on the referee's back now, hoping that he's going to give a penalty away.
Do you know, Mark Percival's made an amazing start to this game here. The ball's come freely and
It's a penalty
because of his effort. It is a penalty, but Percival's effort in defence, his runs in attack. I was going to say, really, I've been disappointed by the standards that Mark Percival set last year. How he's gone in 2019 hasn't been as good, but he started this game as good as he played in any match last season.
Gilbert was hanging on to the ball, but Percival just pulled it away from him. Got a hand on the arm and a hand on the ball. That's why the penalty's been given. So here they come once again, the Huddersfield Giants with Ikehihi Fo.
Goal 1.
6 of Huddersfield's 17 offloads against Wigan last week came from the hands of Sebastien Ikehihi Fo.
James!
Who's Leeming. Gets the decision from Scott Mikalauskas.
I said before, Eddie, what he brings to the game is energy, effort, and he's fighting with his opposite James Roby. He doesn't want to be dominated and turned on his back. He knows it's all about getting those quick play the balls to try and beat this Saints side.
Referee telling Huddersfield to wait for his whistle before they restart. There it is, now they can. And here comes Lawrence. There's a standing start for Michael Lawrence. St Helens quickly up and in his face. Down the short side once again, Mellor. That's good, they get the ball out wide to McGilvery. This fella can't be stopped. Great try from Jermaine McGilvery. He missed the opening 2 games of the season. This is his 4th appearance in a row. Huddersfield top try scorer in Super League with 145. Second try of the season, and a valuable one tonight because it's given Huddersfield some confidence.
Well, Saints are only human when they're put under pressure at the play of the ball, and on that occasion it's James Roby. Goes back in illegally by the referee's judgment, but beautiful stuff there. What about the pass? I think it's Darnell McIntosh, goes right to the defensive line. He's out the back here. You can just see him coming to your screen now. The winger comes in, Regan Grace makes that challenge at a spectacular finish from Jermaine McGilvery to delight the coach.
Well, Darnell McIntosh does pass that ball to Jermaine McGilvery, but I think it was what Alex Mellor did. was a quality ball from him at the line. Got defenders interested.
Well, here's Lee Gaskell, whose career began at St Helens in 2010, trying to draw the ball over the top of the bar, and he succeeds. It had beautiful draw on it from right to left end from the boot of Lee Gaskell, and Huddersfield are level.
When the bottom of the league play the top of the league, they have to convert their chances to have any chance of winning, and they've done that there with the first opportunity. And the kick as well from the sideline, curls it round, comes in, 6-all. The Huddersfield fans are starting to believe.
Super kick from Gaskell, great try from McGilvray. Haven't we got some great wingers? We said it throughout the course of last year in Super League, who love to give us spectacular finishes. Tommy Makinson's on the other side, of course, for St Helens. Jermaine McGilvray here. I'm sure Uati will try and get over the line too tonight, and Regan Grace, and we'll see some more tomorrow at Warrington against Wigan, a repeat of the 2018 Grand Final. It's live on Sky Sports Arena tomorrow at 7, and it's been billed in Warrington as the night of bad.
I'm loving that strap line. What a great job Warrington have done on the promotion of that game. And the narrative is about the bad blood and the physicality of the game. I'm sure we'll see some skill, but I'm rubbing my hands already.
Well, if anyone spills blood, Barry is happy. I hope there's not too much blood spilt. I hope it's just the fact that Wigan have beaten Warrington in grand finals far too many times for the Warrington Wolves liking. That's why there's a bit of bad blood between the two teams. That's all it'll be. But as you say, great promotion. Lachlan Coote now will bring it forward for the Saints. Here is Makinson. Makinson has gone through a couple. Uati got to him. Finished off by Ikehihi Fo.
Saints look to dictate the speed of the game, don't they? Every time they attack, there's players flooding forward, supporting the man who's carrying the ball. And he is again, Tommy Makinson.
He needs one try for 100 in Super League for the Saints.
Goal 3.
Does Tommy Makinson. Thompson with his high stepping run. Halted by Wardle. Wormsley, that's a good hit again. Ifo is putting himself about. He really is. Last tackle here for the Saints. High kick from Theo Farge. Not the direction I think he wanted it to go in. Darnell McIntosh gets to it. And he just shrugged.
There's a problem there, Eddie. I know that there was a problem with him. He's so elusive at the back, but he's so powerful as well. Darnell McIntosh.
It was a heavy challenge on him, but again, I was just down at pitch side on my way from the gantry, from the studio to the gantry, and the wind is swirling, so it's going to be a difficult night for those players under the high balls.
Turner dumped to the ground 20 metres from his own line on tackle number 4. Here's Cruz leaning again. That's a lovely little dummy, but it's well watched by Knowles and Thompson. Fifth and last. There could have been a penalty. There could have been a penalty to Huddersfield. Gaskell thumps the ball underneath the wind, he hopes, and he finds Makinson. Solid from Uati.
Well, that's how you deal with him, isn't it?
And helped out by Innes Senior as well. Here's Nagama again.
Doing a decent job. This Huddersfield side, they're working together. They're trying to get the belly of the defence sorted to deal with those early plays from the outside backs, then the big units up front.
Peru will play the ball here to Roby. Roby will go down the middle. Not tackled. Now he is. Coote to Farge. Back on the inside to Lomax. Important challenge that was. Very important challenge. What's more, it threw the error. Well done, Akumatai.
Yeah, he had to be aware of that danger then, didn't he? Because from that play of the ball, there was 2 Huddersfield defenders that were left on the floor. So there was going to be some space around the ruck. And when Johnny Lomax pushes up, he thinks he gets through, tries to hand off Akumatai, but loses possession.
Well, that's great work from the big man. Not clocking off, not switching off. When the break is made and the line is broken, he has enough energy and enough enthusiasm to get to the right area and make that vital tackle, and of course force the error. Great work.
The more times you can get the top of the table to miss chances, waste opportunities like that in the opening half an hour in a game, the greater your confidence becomes here, and that will be the case for Huddersfield. And maybe the seeds of doubt start to slip in for St Helens. Maybe it won't be ideal. I know it's very, very early to say that, but missed opportunities like that are things that you look back at the end of the game and say, how did Huddersfield win this match? Because Saints wasted too many chances in the first half an hour.
Turner disentangles himself, plays the ball to Leeming.
James off the ball.
Goes down the short side, looks for McGilvery and finds him. He's got such strength, McGilvery. He will stay inside this side of the whitewash rather than being pushed over by 3 more. Gaskell once again drops the pass off. It was a good ball too to Okumatai.
He was looking for an offload as well.
He was. Gaskell goes high, ball is swirling everywhere. The chase by Mella, making sure Regan Grace would not make any progress down the other end of the field. Here's Percival again.
It's been a good start from Huddersfield. I know we've said it a few times, but they're in the arm wrestle. They're in the grind with St Helens. Even though that early try was scored, no heads went down, and they look to work harder. That's the reason they got a try back, and they're still in this game. 20 minutes, first quarter approaching the second one.
Played 3, lost 3 at home this year to Salford, Warrington and Hull. 3 defeats at home in 2019. In the glorious days of 2011, 13 and 14, as Saints come up with a knock-on. They lost only twice all year, the Giants. They've got to get back to that sort of form here. And that little fumble from Roby might help them.
They're normally so reliable, isn't he, James Roby? He does this in his sleep. On the focus to try and pass that ball out to Lachlan Coote. I think that when you look at Huddersfield, they're doing a decent job on the likes of Luke Thompson, Alex Wamsley. You look how hard the first marker is working. He's chasing out on that occasion. I think it was Wardle. They're chopping the legs, they're stopping the goal forward early on, and then all of a sudden they've been controlled up top. That's where you can see that Luke Thompson, as he picked up a bit of a crusher there from Michael Lawrence.
He's back on his feet, and the fact that he was down on the floor before the scrum was called by referee Miklauskas means that the clock has stopped and the shot clock hasn't started yet. It's on report anyway. Barry spotted it, Miklauskas spotted it.
Okay, fellas, let's go.
Terry spotted it as well. All right, you all spotted it.
Okay, boys.
Been a good period, hasn't it? Opening 20 minutes. Conceded the early try. Said before, Saints blew a couple of chances, but Huddersfield are well and truly in this game.
In we go.
6-all, midway point of the first half. And here, they come again with the Kumatai, the Tongan.
Go one.
Plays it to Leeming. He finds Frawley.
2.
And that's Matangi who's out there. Lawrence. Frawley, little drop of the shoulder. Morgan Knowles stuck to him like glue. 10 metres away now, the Giants. Chances here as he goes down the short side, Leeming. Alex Mellors wrestled to the ground. Leeming again. Gets the ball back to Frawley. Frawley taking it on himself. Gets to the line. Is held up just this side of the whitewash, so we'll play the ball from there on the last to Leeming. Oh, Leeming goes round 360 degrees, and Johnny Lomax allows that ball to go dead, and that's why they will get the goal line, and not the goal line drop out, but a tap on the 20.
Well, they certainly do fancy the chances. And you've got Matt Frawley, he's attacked the line on 2 occasions, chose to run the ball. You've got Cruz Leeming every time he's on the right-hand side. He's going short side, a big feature of the game last week when they played at the DW Stadium. They like those short side plays. They're looking to see if any of those defenders have switched off, thinking it's going to go the long side.
Nagama again for St Helens. Here goes Roby. What a lovely run from Roby. He's got support with him. That was an important interception attempt by McIntosh.
Well, what about the work that Alex Wamsley puts in to stay with Roby? Look at him fighting hard to support his hooker, and that's a good read from the fullback. He's had some good involvement so far. Darnell McIntosh been under pressure. He has to make a play.
Don't put it in until I tell you, it's all right.
Well, that was a try saver from Darnell McIntosh.
Outside, boys, come on!
He's so dangerous, isn't he?
He is, and he got a couple of tries here in 2017 when Saints and Huddersfield shared a 14-all draw.
Hold it there. Darnell!
So it's still danger not averted for Huddersfield because St Helens are coming forward again with Lomax. Lachlan Coote, tipped by Justin Holbrook to set Superliga light this year. Zeptea. Roby once more. Back it comes to Farge. She finds Walmsley this time. Walmsley struggling to get towards the line. He's so close. 3 tackles gone, 3 left, and look where they are, the Saints. With Roby, gets the short pass away. Can't be stopped, it's Morgan Knowles. Morgan Knowles gets the second try for St Helens. They regather the lead. Try under the posts for Morgan Knowles. He's a Welshman, and like Regan Grace, 4 times a Welsh international, Morgan Knowles, looking to provide a Welsh presence in the Great Britain team at the end of the year.
Well, I think this man is the glue that keeps Saints together. He doesn't come away with the pass then to get Alex Walmsley, but he comes away with the pass then to give it to Morgan Knowles. A real soft try to concede on your try line. You can see that every time James Roby has the ball, he gets the attention of 2 defenders, but so close to the line, well, it's a dangerous play.
Well, we've said about the work from the markers, haven't we, from Huddersfield Giants. It's been keen, it's been energetic, but Akuma Tai's decision to reach round and almost knock the hand of James Roby probably made the decision by Roby to feed Morgan Knowles, who was brave and uncompromising in that line and gets a try for his effort.
Lachlan Coote's bang in front of the sticks. So there we go. That's a 12-6 lead to the league leaders against the team sitting bottom of the table. Morgan Knowles with the try.
Oh, here's Akuma Tai. You look at him, he's looking at Roby, not aware of what's going on outside of him. He needs to have eyes on the ball and look at the threat and look at the potential runner and what his next action might be. There's a defensive mistake by Akuma Tai, who's had a pretty good 24 minutes.
Well, I know they think the world of him at St Helens, Morgan Knowles, and they think even more about him now. He's got Saints back in front. Tomorrow, the NRL season continues. It's only started today, and we'll see the World Club Challenge winners, the Roosters against South Sydney. That's a belter of a game in the morning. Don't miss that. 8:45 on Sky Sports Arena on Sunday. I don't know how many British players we will see in that Canberra side, but they're taking on the Gold Coast, probably 4. That's at 7:05 in the morning on Sunday on Sky Sports Arena. It's an absolutely cracking weekend for rugby league fans on Sky Sports this weekend, and that's a great hit, that is, on Alex Walmsley.
Matty English,
Outstanding hit from him.
Hits him hard, chops him in half. Matty English, talked about him before the game. The polar bear comes on, and he just hits around the midsection, targets the ball and gets his side the ball back.
And he's now got it himself as English. He missed the Wigan game last week. This is Frawley. Here is Gaskell, gets it away to McIntosh, goes wide, and here's a chance, it's a try! Quick response from Jordan Turner, and Jordan Turner against his former club. He won a 2014 grand final with them against Wigan, and that's as equally an important a try for Huddersfield as that grand final win was for him. His first of the season, and he scored it against his former employers, and Huddersfield will not go away tonight.
Well, that's the kind of impact you want from your bench players. Matty English targets the ball, hits and forces the offload. Good shape here from Huddersfield Giants, and again, Alex Mellor draws some defenders. A nice ball from Darnell McIntosh, finds the centre with a one-on-one. Lovely finish, and that will be a sweet try against his former club, Jordan Turner. Great stuff.
Well, that's it, 117 appearances, didn't he, for Saints before his move to the NRL with Canberra. It didn't quite work out for him over there, but what a talent he is. Stand-off centre. He's come up with a good try then.
Well, a try from a former player. Now will we get a goal from a former player? Again, trying to draw it over those posts. Hey, tell you what, he is kicking well tonight. It's Lee Gaskell. It's 12-all. Many a team will have just gone away having conceded a try into the post against St Helens. Not Huddersfield tonight.
They showed some real skill, haven't they? The final pass here, this one from the fullback down, McIntosh. It's arguable that your most important position here in the rugby league team is the fullback. And I've been waiting and talking about Daniel McIntosh for a while. It's only the 3rd time he started this season at fullback. I think he's got a massive future ahead of him. He's delivered 2 passes now that have set up 2 tries for Huddersfield. And it's clearly obvious with less than half an hour but they love attacking that side of the field where Johnny Lomax, Regan Grace, Mark Percival have stood. They've continually gone that way, and I think they will continue to do so for the next 50-plus minutes.
Good to see little Luke Robinson on the screens again, by the way. Luke is alongside Simon Wolford, assistant coach here at the Huddersfield Giants. Luke Robinson's given us over the years many, many happy memories, but he will be delighted, along with his coach, the way that Huddersfield have come straight back into this game.
And coaching the under-19s, doing a decent job with Andy Kelly, who's the head of youth. Obviously in his senior, Sam Hewitt, a lot of lads coming through the system under their guidance.
Great character, tremendous character. This is Matangi. Meanwhile, there he is, Luke Robinson.
He's not changed at all, has he?
He looks like he can play. Willie poaching alongside him, Leroy Cudjoe behind him. Crossfield kick almost through Lachlan Coote. Gets the ball away though to Makinson. And when I look back over the last 30 years or so in this position, there's some great players that have given us some wonderful, wonderful memories.
And Barry.
And Barry as well.
We went back and looked at some of the games between these two teams back from the decades, and there was one from 2011 where an offload from Leroy Cudjoe was out of the top draw, and Luke Robinson was integral in that game, and they have to draw on some of that expression, some of that ability, and they look so far like their skill are up to standard.
Here's Roby now. That's the pass away. Louis McCarthy. Scarsbrook is out there on the field, substituted every game so far, and it was his 78th minute match winner that we saw against Wakefield in round 2. And here is a penalty to Huddersfield, and problems here because that's Luke Thompson on the deck, isn't it?
Well, he doesn't look well. I think it's,
no, it's
Tommy
Makinson it is, yeah.
And he gets a knee in the chest, doesn't he? Down on McIntosh. He goes up. He's trying to protect himself. He raises his knee.
And then look at the head banging onto the floor.
Well, he does play it tough, Tommy Makinson. We talked about his finishing ability, his work from the backfield, but in situations like that, with no regard for his own personal safety, he'll get up and try and get his team and coaches the best result. Another wonderful take from Darnell McIntosh, by the way.
Just look at how this ball comes out again here. I'm just quite sure the interpretation here, because there's one player involved.
He's ruled that he's tackled in the air. That's the penalty.
A glimpse of Sean Long, or someone else who's given us great memories, or given me, should I say, great memories over the years. I don't think Warrington fans would agree with that, by the way. He has, and they have.
What about the Bradford fans? Wasn't Sean Long the one that wore St Bernard's head when running around the field at the old Knowsley Road?
Yes, wide to West Knight. Yeah, he put the head on. Was going to take the conversion after the Chris Joint try.
But was stopped there.
I think the referee stopped the fun.
The fun police.
The ball. Leeming again here. Ball finds McIntosh down this right-hand side. They come again with Gaskell.
Well, like the ball, they've got an awful lot of time when they shift the ball, Huddersfield.
Frawley with the left foot goes down looking for maybe McGilvray. Regan Greystow gets to it first, and then Gaskell puts the tackle in on him.
Well, Huddersfield just need to be patient over the next 5 minutes here. They know that Saints are going to come back. They're going to be focused. They're going to want to try and speed the game up and get them.
But they don't look like a side that's bottom of the table.
Well, Eddie, I looked at the last 5 results, considering last week was the best defensive display, where they just conceded 6 points. The previous 4 games, the least they conceded was 27 points. How have they turned that performance around in the defence department in just the last 2 games? It's incredible.
It is. They conceded 22 tries in the first 4 matches of this season. They've tightened it up considerably here over the past week and a half. Lachlan Coote with the left foot kicked down the middle into the arms of McGilvray. Watch out when he gets hold of the ball. Oh, and he picks out one of the smallest on the field for Saints in Theo Farge. Well done, Farge. He stood up to the task.
Well, he's another player who I thought was brilliant last week. 22 carries, 206 metres from Jermaine McGilvray. You got Uarte as well.
That's Innes Senior on the 18 years of age. This is Sam Hewitt, only 19 years of age. They've got some youth on their side tonight. Matty English, 21.
Again, Terry O'Connor talked about Andy Kelly, the work that Huddersfield Giants have put into that system. It's taken them 5 or 6 years. They're starting to get some real gems coming through now.
Alex Miller, that was a nice kick forward and brilliantly picked up by Lachlan Coote on the half volley round his ankles.
I don't know, it was a good kick forward, but what impressed me more than the kick was the chase from them. How nice and tight they are. Right. Saints trying to find some space. The players are bouncing across the field, looking to try and drag a defender out the line, but so far they're doing a decent job, Huddersfield.
I wonder when we look back on this 2019 season whether the teams that got Huddersfield early in the campaign will feel that luck was on their side, that they did. Because as I say, they don't look anything like a team at the foot of the table at the moment. That's another great hit on Matty Lees.
Well, they certainly are revving up.
He had the wind taken out of his sails with that.
They knock him off his feet, Eddie. Look at him, he's looking to pass the ball. Alex Mellor, shoulder in, drives him, knocks him off his feet. They've got two fabulous, we're talking about young players, we've got two fabulous players on the bench for St Helens. Young Jack Ashworth, who's been playing for Lee Centurions, and Matty Lees, who's just trying to recover, coming back, didn't make the team, had a knock or a bump. His coach, Justin Holbrook, left him out of last week's side, brought him back in. He'll be okay.
Yeah, will do, mate. You keep your activity.
He's one of those players, Matty Lees. The tougher it is, the more it brings the best out of him. He fronts up to every challenge. But you even look at the technique here from Alex Mellor. Look, he just plants his feet, he gets set, and he just launches himself into Matty Lees.
A little bit of whiplash there as well, I think, and they were just having a look at him. Just checking out that he wasn't concussed.
Okay, 5.
Medical staffs of the Super League clubs so careful, diligent.
Another terrific take. He's going to be peppered. Again, the swirling wind. And when they get on the front foot, St Helens, they like that high kick, they like a committed chase, and they like good contact off the back of it.
He's a rising star, Darnell McIntosh.
He is, Eddie. It might take him 2 or 3 years, but he could be brilliant. People have the patience, and he sticks with it. Shows some resilience to go through the periods when he doesn't play well. He's going to get the ball here now at Frawley. And it's they're shifting it out. They're really stretching St Helens' defence. They played with a lot of width at Wigan, and it gave them success. Gets the last play, and Frawley and Gaskill, their combination now, they're playing together more often, they're working together and complementing one another.
Taking places underneath this. Oh, he did well. Huddersfield thought they'd nicked the ball from him then, but he held on to it. Here's Roby.
He does well to come down there. A couple of players have run past the ball. When it comes, good job that Mellor was there again.
Percival doesn't make too much progress. Struggles to his feet. Roby at dummy half. McCarthy Scarsbrook. To English in very quickly. So was Wardle. This is Roby. Back it comes to Farge. Drops the ball off to Dominic Peyrou. He's left one man flat out.
Still flat out, Eddie.
I think it is.
It's Wardle, isn't it?
Joe Wardle, he's all over the place.
He is. He's trying desperately to get back into the defensive line. There you go, the physio.
A good tackle from the physio as well.
Yeah, he stopped him.
Excellent technique.
He stopped him. I think Wardle will be off the field, and I don't know whether he'll return watching that.
Yeah, he's a tough player, isn't he, Wardle? Oh. And he runs into Dominic Peyrou. And what a move that was, taking Peyrou out the centre, putting him in the back row.
He's had to be patient, hasn't he, Dominic Peyrou, but it's paying off now. But Joe Wardle, when he got up and his legs were all over the shop.
I've never seen Joe Wardle back down to anybody. He'll be saying to the physio or the doctor, no, I'm fine. But you can see from that shot, clearly he's not. Big blinks, trying to get back to the defensive line. And
I think sometimes concussion's a word that we don't fully appreciate. It's a brain injury, isn't it? And you all know how important your brain is, so you've got to do everything. Anybody playing at any level, community, junior or professional.
He's walking off okay, isn't he?
He looks like he's okay, but that doesn't mean he is okay. And you mentioned that the physios and the doctors are keen in Super League. I think there's an actual consequence for getting it wrong, and the RFL and the review panel will look at situations like that, and if the correct procedure isn't followed, then there are consequences.
There's a lateral run from Uarte. Here's McIntosh once again. We've got a big Sunday coming for you. Hull Kingston Rovers and Catalan Dragons on Sunday at 2:55 on Sky Sports Arena from the Super League. And then from the Betfred Championship, Toronto are in action. It's one of their home games. They've surrendered and they're being played in this country. They take on the Batley Bulldogs. It's the Wolfpack and the Bulldogs on Sunday evening. What a weekend. What a weekend for rugby league fans. Live on Sky Sports. How about this for a great run as well? It's a tremendous run that's coming in there from Roberts. Last tackle, the dab through. Oh, an awkward bounce, tapped out wide. Still free, Theo Farge picks it up.
The sense that you're going to be pushed over the side and wow. You know you've got to have a defensive attitude, you've got to have a ruthless attitude in defence. And when Theo Farge gets this bobbling ball, you can see that Lee Gaskell, he won't let him go to ground along with his teammate in his senior. They bummed him out of the field of play, and from that effort from Frawley, keeping the ball alive, making Theo Farge play for it, the smaller man is manhandled by a couple of Huddersfield defenders.
And over the line he goes, and it's, I must say, tremendous to see Lee Gaskell in this sort of form and enjoying his football under Simon Wolford. He has had horrendous problems with injuries in his time, but boy, he is absolutely on top of his game at the moment. That's not the best pass, by the way.
Well, it's a loose pass, but he typifies the effort by Huddersfield Giants. We're used to seeing St Helens during games putting pressure defensively on their opposition, a good kick chase, and make it really difficult for their opposition. But at this point, they're the ones under pressure. It's Huddersfield Giants on the front foot.
And they're looking to turn around maybe at half-time with a lead as English drives it forward once again. Huddersfield fans getting excited, sensing that something special maybe is on the way. Percival put in a very effective tackle on Alex Mellor. Here is Hewitt off the bench, just shy of the line, leaning again. Oh, Messi playing the ball. Chance is gone.
Well, making a mistake on the last play, and the youngster, you see the powerful frame that he's got. He just loses possession as he's getting up to play the ball. Sam Hewitt, who's leaning, you can see him setting up to go to the short side, just dabbing in behind Mark Percival and Regan Grace, force another set of six. Unfortunately, a mistake from the youngster.
And that was a nice touch. Matty English, another young player on the bench, taps his teammate on the shoulder and said, never mind, mate, you've got to get those big moments right consistently to be a fantastic team, but the learning process for a young player takes a long time.
Indeed, and that's why coaches have to be a little patient with them if they possibly can be.
Eddie, I'll tell you what, imagine if we had a team in between the academy and the first team for players to play in.
You're not suggesting
Wouldn't that be revolutionary?
The reserve grade, are you, by any chance? Well, this is Hewitt showing maybe a little bit of frustration.
Well, do you know what, Eddie? I wouldn't say frustration. He's trying to make up for his mistake, isn't he? He gets wrong-footed. Yeah, he gets wrong-footed. Theo Farge spots him and uses footwork to get on the inside of him.
Peru again.
Moves to it. Hall, Cruz.
Just inside his own half of the field. Plays it to that man, Roby. McCarthy scars, but carts it forward again. 3 minutes to half-time, just less. Roby quickly down the middle of the field.
Got to keep that ruck nice and tight when James Roby's on the field.
That was Knowles. This is Lomax.
4. Back.
Gaskell, the man who tackles him. Here they come again. Matty Lees. Last tackle coming up here. Roby goes down the short side, finds Lomax, dab in, looking for Percival, finds Percival, try for St Helens.
Oh, I think it's a knock-on. Eddie. It's a beautiful kick.
The Giant agrees with you, the referee disagrees.
I think he gets this down. I think he gets this down.
I might be wrong. It's happened a couple of times before, but
no,
it's a good kick though, isn't it?
He's onside, the chase is good, the option is perfect. Behind the line, in the in-goal area, does he get a clean put down on it?
I think he gets this down, no problem, Barry.
I'll have you a cup of tea on it.
It bobbled after he put it down, I think. There you go.
Oh, there you go. I'll make the tea. You were right.
Wasn't it a good kick though from Johnny Lomax?
Bit of milk, 1 sugar, Baz, please.
Yeah. You need to cut the sugar out of it. at your age.
So,
Now you're edging towards retirement. Great finish, though. Well done to the England centre. Putting
so.
Saints in front, it looks like, just before half-time. Striking as they do at the most crucial time.
it is. It's a vital time to score a try just before the break. Mark Percival has come up with the green light, courtesy of video referee James Child. Scott Mikolauskas points to the spot at St Helens. We were talking earlier, or hinting just a couple of minutes ago, maybe Huddersfield turning round with a lead at half-time. Now maybe, with 2 minutes to go to the break, maybe it'll be the Saints who will turn round with the lead. But the way Huddersfield fought back last time that Saints scored, you never know if they get enough time.
Well, good teams have the ability, don't they, just to get you when you think that you're going to go in at half-time with a 12 points apiece. Lachlan Coote now with a difficult kick from the touchline.
So he's left-footed. So close, but pulls it the wrong side.
That is one issue perhaps for him, isn't it? Neither Percival or Coote have really looked comfortable or happy taking the goal kicks. If they score them out wide, they're not guaranteed another 2 points, but the kick to actually put on the try from Lomax, well, I think that's world class, isn't it? He makes it look easy, and only good players can do that. He's got players running at him, he has to kick it soft, he has to kick it into the space between the two players, and hope that his centre can be the first to it, which he is. Big claps and delight amongst the Saints. They want to be ahead here, but with a minute to go to half-time, this is very important here now that Huddersfield don't concede a back-to-back try, because the Saints have the capability of doing it.
Lomax takes the kick-off on the full. Inside the final minute now, this first half. St Helens just ahead. But for a match between the top and bottom of the table, it's pretty good, this.
I was saying before, there's absolutely nothing in it, is it?
4 points to the minute, Des.
Yeah. Well, nothing, no Eddie. Huddersfield get over the try line by one of the big forwards near the sticks, and well, obviously anything could happen.
Next time I borrow £4 off you, you say I owe you now.
But I'm looking at this Huddersfield side.
They're playing well, I know what you mean.
They're really confident here.
They're playing well.
They're revving up, they're defending well. And even that try that they just scored there for Percival, credit to their defence that Johnny Lomax kicks the ball in behind him. He's aware of that space.
Well, here's the last tackle again for St Helens. This is a high pump from Lachlan Coote. He's after it again. McIntosh pounced it safely. Missed nothing so far tonight. Over won't hex him in the second half.
What a kick from Lachlan Coote. He split winger, and I think it was Dana McIntosh who ends up with it. He makes that catch and allows his team to go in with the ball in hand. Just slightly behind on the scoreboard, but still hugely involved in this game.
Justin Holbrook making his way off to downstairs to greet his players, Roby and co. So Mark Percival's try is the 4 points that separates them, as Simon Woolford goes down a similar path, but maybe a couple of entrances the other side of Justin Holbrook. It was 6-0 to Saints after just 4 minutes. 6-all after 13, McGilvery. Knowles with another try, 23. Turner, 25. 2 minutes the lead lasted. And right on the stroke of half-time, Mark Percival. It's gone back to Richardson. Richardson with the drop goal. He's kicked it!
Sorry. It's big, but it's not Euro Millions big. This Friday, it's a massive £70 million jackpot.
Switch to Sky Mobile and get the brand new Samsung Galaxy S10 now for just £39 a month. Discover Infinity O Display, the ultimate viewing experience. And if you're a Sky TV customer, watch Sky TV on the go without using your data, only on Sky Mobile. So sit back and get your brand new Samsung Galaxy S10 now for £39 a month with no upfront costs. And watch Sky TV without using your data. Visit a retail stand or search Sky Mobile.
Ooh, first date, pressure's on. Whoa, need to tighten up the look. Flick back the precision flip trimmer for those hard-to-reach places, and bosh. Well, what do you know? She likes you. Wilkinson Sword Hydro Sense. Wilkinson Sword Hydro range. Great offers now in store.
This is what luxury included feels like. Chefs are creating masterpieces. The staff are making their finishing touches. Bartenders are shaking things up. Butlers are preparing for your arrival. When can we expect you? Sandals, the 5-star luxury included resorts. Call 0800 742 742.
Oh, hello. I got your message earlier. This restaurant is our most popular choice.
Thank you, but I don't do popular choices.
The quest for points is bigger than ever, and the pressure is on. The weight on your shoulders, the expectation.
Another twist to the tail.
Any mistake, and it's regret. Every game is a cup final. A Super Sunday doubleheader not to be missed. Live on Sky Sports Premier League.
We got some new blood this morning. John Nolan, who was born before disco died. Officer Bishop, you get to ride with the 40-year-old rookie.
Show me what you got.
I don't like you, Officer Nolan. A walking midlife crisis. And that will get my people killed.
He deserves a chance.
I earned my place here, and I'm not leaving.
Brand new, The Rookie, starts next Thursday at 9 on Sky Witness.
Them perhaps weave a little bit of magic.
Doubleheader on Sky Sports Premier League on Super Sunday. It all starts with Liverpool's trip to Fulham, just 1 point off City. They can go top of the table when they visit the side second from the bottom. That's 1:30 p.m. 4:15 is Everton's game against Chelsea. And of course, Sky Sports is the home of live and exclusive Formula One. Every practice, every qualifying, every race. And it will all start with the Australian Grand Prix. Practice 1, 12:30 a.m. Sky Sports Formula One. Same channel at 5 a.m. on Saturday. It is qualifying, and race day Sunday will start on Sky Sports Formula One at 3:30 a.m. Race will start at 5:05. We'll go from Australia to West Yorkshire. We're at the John Smith Stadium. The Huddersfield Giants are in action against St Helens. Unbeaten Saints have started the season with 5 from 5. Huddersfield just a solitary win, but they are very much in this round 6 fixture. Saints scored first through Luke Thompson, but Huddersfield hit back pretty quick and certainly kept pace with the team at the top of the table. Right, have a look at the halftime match stats. Completion rate of 80%, you would suggest, is going a long way towards keeping Huddersfield in this game. A game in which they've missed 17 tackles to St Helens 8, and have had far more defence to do. An extra 40, almost 40 tackles for the home side. All right, Simon Wolford will be delivering a few words to his side. They impressed him with their resilience at the DW Stadium. He says, we were under the pump and we dug in. They've certainly dug in the first 40 minutes here. And twice they have trailed and hit back in the match against Justin Holbrook's St Helens side. He was very impressed with the way they've been controlling games of late, and at times in this match, despite the scoreboard not reflecting it, they have looked extremely dominant. Holbrook may be perhaps a little perturbed with the fact that they have not been able to shake the Giants thus far. All right, I left John Wells just before kickoff. You were predicting a comfortable St Helens victory. It has looked thus far, it must be said, far from comfortable for the Saints. Why is that?
St Helens have been frustrated out of quite a lot. I think the intensity, the one thing that the statistics don't show you is the intensity of that defence from the Huddersfield Giants. They did score first, and the 2 tries that have come from Saints early on in the game were from close range, which would be disappointing for Simon Wolford. Yeah, they didn't leave it too long, Huddersfield, before hitting back through Jermaine McGilvery. Morgan Knowles goes over yet again under the post. This sloppy, Sean, not the greatest of tries you want to be conceding. No, it's not. It's a case of looking to try and defend something out wide when the threat is the ball, and particularly from James Roby. But they did get back through Jordan Turner, that squared up the scores 25 minutes. And they would have been very happy. This has maybe tarnished the half-time team talk a little, because, as Saints always seem to do, they score at those timely times. Percival scoring that try just as Huddersfield were ending the second half. I mean, I suppose on the front foot very much, and had a great chance, but for a drop ball on the St Helens line, could have gone in front at half time. Yeah, they could have done that. So go back to the point. Huddersfield have frustrated St Helens out of some opportunities. I think they've worried them a little bit when St Helens have been on the ball. I think the intensity of that Huddersfield defence has been a big part of it. I also think that if St Helens click into gear in this second half, you may see a different story.
And maybe take some of the chances that they have created.
Of course, and that was a criticism levelled, wasn't it, last week at Wigan, and for Huddersfield for that matter. I mean, they've had a couple of chances too.
Huddersfield may look in mitigation and suggest it's a young, developing side. Cruz Lehman was outstanding in that victory at the DW Stadium. Darnell McIntosh, a man who you were somewhat more critical of for his performance last week. What have you made of his response to his own performance?
It's the semantics, isn't it? I don't want to sound negative because he's a fantastic player, but I was saying there's plenty of improvement still in his game, particularly his passing game. Well, he's produced, I think, a flawless first 40 minutes. He was really solid under the high ball. 2 well-contested balls he's come down there with, and also shown some real smarts. This was the build-up to the Jermaine McGilvray try, so they've got a really late retreat, have St Helens, and Johnny Lomax has indicated he doesn't want him on the short side, he wants him on the open side. Darnell McIntosh is, I think where he's clever is he sits right in behind the ruck and hides, shows where doesn't reveal where he wants to go. I'm stuttering, Brian, because you've stuck a circle on. Are you preempting something here?
I was saying 3-on-3. Johnny Lomax probably doesn't see where McIntosh is coming from. No, he probably thinks he's settled here, and you're absolutely right. It's the disguise of the run from McIntosh to be complimented.
The disguise and the timing as well, and that belies his inexperience. Don't forget, only 2 appearances at fullback last year. This is his 3rd this year. He has spent a pre-season in this position and was gifted that number 1 jersey by Simon Wolford. But you know, there's still, I think here, the signs that he could develop into a special talent. That's a fantastic ball under pressure. That wasn't defended badly by Saints, it has to be said.
Very little Regan Grace could do apart from come in, but McIntosh quick enough to get the pass away. I mean, this was an interesting one. Perfect positioning, John, but I'm minded of the great Lee Breers and what he would do in a similar situation. He would probably knock the ball up as opposed to perhaps knocking the ball down, and could have had an intercept chance.
Yeah, that's they're the very, very small margins that only the very, very best players get to that level, don't they? But that was a try saver. Goes down as a try saver, doesn't it? Only for a minute, that has to be said. They did level up, didn't they, through Morgan Knowles just after that. But what I will say is there's another section here. Just as he receives this ball. Now, if he passes here, I think Percival can slide off, and they can actually rescue this defensive set. Just looking at what he does now, he takes those extra 2 or 3 steps, commits Percival for long enough to allow Turner the space to go over. It's those added little bits now we're starting to see a little bit more frequently from him, which suggests there is a real future for this player in that position.
There's no doubt about that. They trail by just 4 points. You would have thought that win at the DW Stadium last week would have put more of a smile on the face of Simon Wolford. Very animated here in the Huddersfield Giants dressing room. Foot down, foot on the throat perhaps, but he is certainly looking at a side who have been in games this year around this half-time 15-minute mark, gone on to lose the matches. They trail by 4 points at half-time here at the John Smith Stadium. What have they got in the second 40? Eddie and the boys standing by. Can this be the Giant night?
Hey, BMW.
Every day should give you something unexpected. A chance to savor the anticipation. Well, that's why I get dressed in the dark. And why every day I head to Sky Vegas and spin the prize machine.
Take your spin on the prize machine. It's your seriously free chance to win loads of prizes every day. Only at Sky Vegas, the UK's most
luxurious weekends away with flights and hotels. Up to 70% off. Luxurious holidays means voyageprivé.co.uk.
Here we go, buddy. I think it's wide open.
Nah, stick with the favourite. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me.
Trust him. He knows nothing. He thinks a paddock's a type of fish. We're the experts, Dan. Look at what we've been through together. And we've got brain cells crunching the numbers. Here's what's going to happen. The outsider will step up. And if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter because read the screen.
Heed your hunch with Betway. Get money back as a free bet if you lose on the first and last races every day at Cheltenham.
There's something that I need in return.
Take them out.
All I want is vengeance, and it will be had.
Billions. Wednesday at 9 on Sky Atlantic.
March on Sky Sports brings you world sporting stars at the top of their game.
In a game of tight margins, what a big one this is. We are all in place and we are all set now. Oh my God!
Oh, I don't know what this went wrong.
Come alive from the word go today. That excited? Why shouldn't it be?
This March on Sky Sports. Feel it all.
Here's your moment. Takes it cleanly.
Last tackle, Cameron Smith. Munster inside Bromwich. Big Jesse, dummy and run and slide. Jesse Bromwich, have you ever seen the likes of that from a front rower?
Well, that was this morning's offering from the NRL. Tomorrow and Sunday we've got two more. The Roosters and South Sydney Rabbitohs in the morning at 8:45, Sky Sports Arena. Big match of the weekend, and then we'll see four Englishmen, we think, in the Canberra side at the Gold Coast, 7:05 on Sunday morning, same channel. Big weekend of Rugby League on Sky, beginning with this bottom against top clash in Huddersfield, and the Giants 12, St Helens 16 at half-time, and about to restart the second half with Saints in their change strip, attacking from right to left in the second 40. A 4-point advantage, that's all they've got, and Huddersfield, who put in their finest defensive effort against Wigan. They restricted the champions to just 6 points last weekend. Their best effort in 10 Super League matches. Have tried to match that here against the Saints, who of course are defending their 100% start to the season. But they know after the first 40 minutes they've got a really big job on their hands.
You could see what the completion rate was like in that first half. They're ending the sets well, and they've been bossed around. They've got good go forward here. They're looking dominant, the halfbacks in Gaskell and Frawley looking to take on the Saints line, and they've had good impact as well from the bench.
I think before the game we were talking about how last week's game was all about defence. They had to ask some questions of this St Helens defence. They have in the first 40 minutes, and you're right, Tez, it's about controlling those transitions from attack to the defence as they attempt to do it here now.
St Helens back in possession at the end of the first set of the second half. Let's get the half-time news. Bill.
Eddie, the Huddersfield Giants really positive about their prospects in the second half, despite the fact they'll be doing that without Joe Wardle, who will not be coming back out. There was really never any likelihood that he would after that collision in the first half. He wanted to carry on, as we could see. He's wanted to come back out there. They're not going to let him. He failed the head test. Wardle not coming back out, but nevertheless, Simon Wolford really happy with his size performance in the first half. The thorn in the Giants' side has obviously been James Roby, creating so many chances. They're looking to shut him down. They believe if they can do that, otherwise they've got the firepower to get over St Helens. Saints realise that. They know they're in a battle. The coach Justin Holbrook pretty pleased with the first 40 minutes. It's better to be creating chances and blowing them than not to be creating chances at all, is the Saints viewpoint. They need to finish better. They need to tighten up in defence as well and stop the Giants' threat.
So this now is Matty English for Huddersfield. Third tackle of their second set in possession. Good hit on Sam Hewitt coming in there. It was Dom Peyroux hunting down Frawley and getting to him as well, forcing the error from Frawley. And Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook picks it up, gets it away to Paulo. He then finds Lachlan Coote.
That's a bad mistake. Again, talking about controlling those transitions. What do you do at the back end of your set? How do you hand the ball over to your opposition? I think it was good pressure from St Helens without a doubt, but the 6 and 7, the decision makers, they need to get aspects of the back end of any set right.
There's tremendous work from Dominic Peyrou, and that's why Saints are back in possession here. And Roby, the man they want to close down in the second half, gets it away to Coote, who finds Theo Fage. Fage is harassed by Oliver Roberts and pinched the ball from Oliver Roberts.
Oh, wow. I thought it was a one. Yeah, I agree, Tez. I think he's been hard done to there, the Ireland international.
The strength of him, mate, when he gets hold of the ball, he's obviously first objective is to make sure that he's looking after Theo Fage. He's done that. Then he has his hands on the ball, and as he's tackling him, he turns around and strips the ball.
Well, the referee had called the tackle complete. He decided the tackle had finished its momentum. He called the tackle, and then the ball was stolen.
A little hard done to the Huddersfield Giants.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's the view of the referee that the tackle is complete. Well, we can't argue with that, I suppose. But Huddersfield will, particularly if St Helens get over the line for a try here. And this is a chance for Zeb Teya. Now then, it's all hands to the pump defensively, because that's only tackle number 2. You can see the post there. That's how close the Saints are. And that was a short ball from Paulie. Finds Matty Lees. Roby waits at dummy half. Didn't make any progress forward there because of this Huddersfield defence. They go down the right-hand side. Peyrou, that's a vital challenge by Frawley. Kevin Nagama will take it on. And Kevin Nagama gets over the line, but he's held up, as you can see, by resolute Huddersfield Giants defence.
Well, they're keeping the hips and shoulders nice and straight. You can see the youngster in his senior doing everything he can to prevent that try.
Last tackle option is a crossfield kick, and is claimed by Jermaine McGilvery. 20-metre restart. He wants to get on with it quickly too, and here he goes.
Well, it was well Fage then to get back onside. The Toulouse side scored a try against Toronto last week, where they tapped it so quickly, none of the players back in position, and the fullback went the length of the field. But Fage was quick to react, recognised it was going to be a restart on the 20, got himself back to the 30-metre line so he could make that legitimate tackle.
Here's Cruz Leeming again. He gets the ball away to Frawley. He looks for the runners and finds Gaskell. The pass from Gaskell misplaced. Turner's lost it. Roby has swooped on it, knocked it on though.
Well, you've got to make sure that you nail that pass.
It'll be the first knock-on he's going to give, and Huddersfield will get head and feet here. I thought he was going to give it the other way for a minute.
The ball, the mistake from Huddersfield, it went backwards. It's the James Roby, when he goes to pick that ball up, he's the one who loses it. And when you're throwing that ball and your fullback's in the line, there's nobody else behind. You've got to make sure you nail it. They couldn't do that. It was a loose ball. James Roby just can't pick the ball up cleanly. If he could have picked it up cleanly here, he's away, isn't he, the hooker?
I wonder whether he knows that the first knock-on was a Huddersfield knock-on. He might have intended just to simply secure that ball instead of attempting to pick it up.
Well, the referee gave it as a one single knock-on, I think. He didn't say backwards from it.
And it was right. Everything from Huddersfield was backwards.
It was, absolutely. I misread the sign as well, Barry, because he put one finger up and he said first knock-on, but the first knock-on was by St Helens and Roby. So that's why Huddersfield are in possession. Tanguy will get to his feet and play to Leeming. That's Frawley. Back it comes to Gaskell. Short ball from him. Good ball too to Roberts.
Some brilliant shape of the Huddersfield attack. Two waves of players.
That could be a penalty, but Nikolauskas holds his nerve and his whistle in his hand. Frawley.
It was just too deep then, Jordan Turner, for Frawley to throw that pass.
Hold, Mate. Goal 5.
Here's Leeming again. Gaskell up and over the top. Very well watched by the St Helens fullback.
Well, slotted him well, hasn't he, Lachlan Coote, and he was aware of the danger then. Dino McIntosh was chasing this kick. Nice little play, wasn't it, over the top from Lee Gaskell.
It was well watched by Lachlan Coote, who'll be eyeing a trip to Old Trafford to go along with his grand final win with the Queensland Cowboys, North Queensland Cowboys in 2015. And Roby inevitably at dummy half. Spreads the play to the left-hand side to Lomax. They then find Percival again.
And again, that's a pat on the back to Huddersfield because Saints are trying to play on the outside of them, struggling for meters the first 3 plays.
Lomax
outside.
Sees there's a big gap between McIntosh
Play on.
and Uarte. So here comes the winger.
One.
He comes in field a lot, doesn't he, Uarte?
Well, you find that the wingers...
So does this fellow, McGilvery.
Well, that's the job, the first 3 plays of every set. You'll always see that the wingers and the fullback will touch the ball, they'll link up, and then all of a sudden it's up to the forwards then to take over on tackle 4 and 5.
This is Senior. I would like to see them get the ball out to Uarte while he's on the wing, and they've got a chance here maybe. Roberts gets the ball away out the back door to Frawley. They keep the movement alive here. Matangi spins away from one, keeps the movement going, but straight to Matty Lees.
Well, he's just loitering with intent, isn't he? The substitute for Saints, Matty Lees, picks up that loose offload.
So here comes Evtaya again.
There's the offload there, stooped on by St Helens. Last couple of minutes I've been watching James Roby, I've been watching him. He times it to perfection. He's assessed the situation, gets the point of the play of the ball, and delivers an accurate pass 99 times out of 100.
Well, there he is again. He just dropped it off to Theo Farge. Nice ball back on the inside from Lomax to Coote. He keeps the ball alive again to Farge. They have a man out wide, and that man is Tommy Makinson. He does a quick 360. Tried to take on Frawley and Uarte. Last tackle for Saints then, so Farge with the kick. Oh, Frawley, but the ball went backwards. Gets away with it.
He picks that up, second effort, doesn't he, Frawley? Looking to go back to that short side play. They've done an awful lot of work over on the left-hand side in defence in this second half. He gets the ricochet, it's a kind ricochet, and he drops on the ball.
Here he comes again, carting the ball forward, Uarte.
The tempo of Huddersfield needs to stay where it is now. We've had 10 minutes of lung-busting, arm-wrestling rugby league, and Huddersfield Giants stick with the pace of St Helens. What's the fitness like? We'll see.
We've gone for a big 40-20 there, Cruz Leeming, but all he finds is Regan Grace. Grace will return this with a bit of interest. Leeming was the first man in, and there's a bit of friendly fire there. There's a
Jermaine McGilvery and the right wingers had a collision. Now a penalty to compound the fact that they're down to 12 men.
So they've been under pressure, Eddie. Cruz Leeming kicks on the 4th play. Maybe one more carry would have just helped the team to get a bit more energy in.
That's a tough call against Huddersfield again.
Well, they've had a couple.
There are arms all over the shop, I know.
They've had a couple in this second half, haven't they?
And there's with the injury to McGilvery. A bit of a bang in the mouth, but the penalty that went St Helens' way again looked a little harsh on first look. It's a loose carry, isn't it?
Just that's a loose carry. It's the tackle from English underneath, isn't it? He hits the ball with his shoulder, he loses possession.
Back here, you walk forward.
Well, Saints won't be complaining. They've got the penalty. Too far out though on a night like this to have a shot at goal where they might have been tempted. They've been a bit closer.
Time off. Ball off. Hold this line. Go.
Another big defensive effort required here then from the Giants as McCarthy Scarsbrook takes it forward, looking to pinch a penalty. This is Farge.
Hold.
10 metres out. It's with Roby again. He finds Paulo. Finds Coote. What a hit from Matangi that was.
Oh, he spotted him a couple of times in the last 10 minutes.
Matangi saying he's getting hold of the legs. Can't get out of the way. Here's Roby. And Roby is just held short. Trying to pinch one. And there's a bit of pandemonium in the Huddersfield defence. This is Lomax. Back it comes to Peyru. Peyru straightens it up. Straight to Matangi again. The Huddersfield prop stands his ground. There could be a penalty here. There is, because Matangi was lying in the rock.
Complaints there. He doesn't even attempt to make an effort to get away from some really big shots from Matangi, putting himself about. St Helens would be wise to take the 2.
I think the kicking tee's on the way out.
Well, I think that was clever play by Dominic Perry, who picks that man out. He'd done an awful lot of work. He come up with a big shot on Lachlan Coote. You can see Dominic Perry, he's dominant with the ball. He's caught on the wrong side of the rut. He can't get out of the way.
Well, he couldn't. It was impossible for him to get out of the way.
Well, he spotted him. Look at him. He's defending on his heels. As I said, he's done an awful lot of work. Come up with some big defensive wins for Tanguy. But then all of a sudden, he's caught on the wrong side of the rut.
If the rules say you have to release the player once you've tackled him, which what they say you do immediately, it very rarely happens, he's released him. What's the possible solution there?
Well, I think they're just saying every time that somebody's in the back of the ruck, they're going to penalise it, and the hope that people will get out of the way. We are seeing times where players are rolling quickly out of the way because they know the situation. So I think that's what they're trying to do, make sure that nobody lies at the back of the ruck so they get an advantage.
But to be fair, Dominic Perry knew exactly what he was doing there.
And that's the other side of the coin.
Exactly.
It's the balance that they want.
Exactly.
And Eddie, I'm going to pick up on a point that Tez made, that it was brave to run back at Matangi. He'd whacked 2 players before that, but even the best player with the biggest engine, when you're making efforts on efforts on effort, inevitably your third one might not be as strong as your first one, and he's took that shot, took the challenge, and earned his side 2 points.
And it's respect from St Helens for Huddersfield to take that too, because it means that they are now a converted try ahead.
And it's concentration, you know, that McIntosh needs here with his kickoff. You've got to get the kick in the field of play. I know it sounds a simple thing, but Huddersfield have lost games when he's kicked it out, conceded a penalty, and the game's drifted away from them. This one he's learnt here. Deep, we're down to Fage.
Well, if you think this is good, and it is, it's bruising and it's entertaining. How about this tomorrow? A repeat of the grand final. Warrington against Wigan. 7 o'clock tomorrow night. The build-up starts. Sky Sports Arena. And of course, those two sides not only will be playing home and away in Super League this year, but they'll also be playing in the Magic Weekend at Anfield, the final match of day 1 they will be playing. The Magic in May. Here's Roby.
I just feel that at the minute now Huddersfield needs some impact from the bench.
Lachlan Coote's kick is going to be far too deep. No, it isn't.
Oh.
No, it isn't. That was
outstanding.
Inch perfect. They've lost the ball. They've lost the ball. And Regan Grace has got the ball down. Well, there's all sorts of things to sort out here.
I think this could be a try. This the loose offload by Jermaine McGillvray.
You could tell a good kick when you see one, Eddie.
That looked like it was going out for all money.
Well, Mark Percival and the rest of his St Helens teammates bank on it staying in the field of play. It's a clever kick, judged to perfection, Eddie.
It was.
And his Saints teammates look at them on the front foot. Do they believe at some point it's going to stay in? And Jermaine McGillvray, who's a vastly experienced player.
He needs to touch the line, McGillvray.
No, he's not, though, is he?
No, he hasn't.
No, he's not. And he gets up. He's trying to beat Lachlan Coote. And then Percival, Lomax, Zebtayer. And then he comes up with that offload because he knows he's been dominated. Knows the hand from Percival. That's the try.
Well, the Huddersfield fans think he's touched the line here, but I don't think he has.
I think he's okay. Look at the effort there in defence from Saints. There's no need to throw that pass, but you're caught in 2 minds. You know that you're trying to get the ball back in the field of play. You want to give yourself and your teammates a chance.
Well, I know he does, but why throw the offload with so many players around him? Because he's given away 4 points. He has. If he'd have taken the tackle, goal line dropout, damage limitation. Percival with the try, his 2nd try of the night, and suddenly, in the space of about 2 or 3 minutes, St Helens have taken a bit of a stranglehold on this match.
He's an excellent player, is Jermaine McGillvray, and when this kick goes in, I suspect he's even thinking about kicking it over the sideline. That might have been his better option, but he's backed his ability to get out of the end goal. He's backed his ability to offload the ball, but Darnell McIntosh, with a little bit of anxiety, can't grab it, and Saints pounce on it.
We're talking about an England international, and he's quality player, isn't he, Jermaine McGillvray? That's just a brain explosion.
This man's kick was, as you say, inch perfect. He also followed it up. He put every one of his players on side anyway. Produced the pressure. McGillvray folded under it a little bit. Just look at this.
Well,
now, there, that looks like it's out to play for.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And his best chance of getting back out, he's taking on his opposing winger rather than going infield. I mean, we'll criticise that offload, Eddie. If McIntosh picks that up and Huddersfield score at the other end of the season, it's try of the season. So I'm sitting here wanting to be entertained. He's wanting to play determined and show that his defence can help to win the game for his team. And with that 12-point advantage, they might well have just done that.
I tell you what, I'll send you over and talk to Simon Wolford at the end of the match.
Well, this is what they need. Theo Five's just making a mistake now.
How many times do we see this?
Yeah, well, that just comes down to concentration, doesn't it, Eddie? You think that you've got it, you're 12 points in front. That's what it means to Daniel McIntosh and his teammates.
Can they strike back?
Well, Jermaine McGilvray, from whenever I've watched him play, is one of those players, if he makes a mistake, he doesn't go playing hide and seek on the wing. He makes sure he gets involved and does everything he can to atone for that error. He could do that perhaps here now, he could come up with an amazing try.
That'll be his aim.
Oh, he needed to give.
Jordan Turner. Picked it up in dummy half, took the tackle. Taking it back towards those sticks. There's Leeming. Finds Frawley. Short ball to Sam Hewitt. Test of this St Helens defensive resolve now. Leeming. Gaskell gets the ball away. Roberts was close. Nagama saw to it, he got no closer. Gaskell. Hewitt. Well, they're just taking them on down the middle. They might have to spin it wide. McGilvray standing very deep down this way. They've gone the other side, though, with Frawley. Oh! Peru puts himself about.
Caught again on last tackle. Frawley. He's gone down the short side. He's got some passing options available to them. And they're all taken away from him. Pressure from the inside. Good hit. The number 7 has no option. No get out of jail card. And he ends up taking the tackle.
But Dominic Peru signed a one-year contract extension earlier this year, and he really has established himself in this St Helens side now. This is his 6th start in a row at the start of this year.
It just goes to show, Eddie, sometimes you have to buckle down when your coach doubts you, and it seems that you're on the outside of the team. Buckle down, work hard, earn that respect, and that's what Dominic Peru's done here. We see, I think it's Matangi, picks up an injury. I don't know whether it's the lunging arm, I don't know whether it's the shoulder. But you know, as soon as he goes into that collision, he's unhappy.
Well, this is a worry for Huddersfield and their coach Simon Wolford. Remember, he won 8 from the first 9 that he was in charge of in Super League last year.
Well, they lost one player in the first half, didn't they? Joe Wardle, with what seemed like concussion. He left the field. Doesn't want to lose another player here now. 12 behind, 23 minutes to go. They get a try, they could really get themselves excited here as underdogs, chasing from behind.
And there's plenty of time left.
Time, field position.
Cruise matter.
Sakuma Matai and Ikahihi Ford as 2 lads on the bench there that when they get their opportunity, they'll certainly give the teammates a lift.
Not yet there. When he's on.
Looks like he's taking a break to be further assessed. It's a head test that he's going to have to be checked out for. So back comes Michael Lawrence.
One side, boys, back up. Tens. Back, one, Lee. Come on. Cruz, come on.
And so off we go again with Roby and Matty Lees. The legs are up there. He had to be careful. He didn't lift too high, fortunately. Walmsley goes away from the first. Can't get away from Lawrence. First involvement since he's off the bench as a replacement. Lomax again, spins away from Hewitt, tries to get away from Mellor.
Move, Alex! Hold! Go for.
Roby. Tafaj, wide they go. Here is Nagama. And the ball finds Makinson over on that far side, but the defence is good enough. Force the error.
That is good defence, isn't it, from Huddersfield? And they know that they need to be at the right part of the field to score some tries. Nagama trying to stand up the youngster in his senior. but it's a good shot as well from the winger Akuma tight on Tommy Makinson.
Okay,
It forces that mistake on the halfway line.
Right.
So the scrum will go down on halfway. They lost home and away in the Super League last year to St Helens, did the Giants, but then they caused a bit of an upset with a win at the Totally Wicked Stadium in the Super 8s. They won that particular occasion 16-12. Well, the 24-12 down here tonight.
Well, when they went on that remarkable run, when they won 9 games on the bounce, it was on the back of good defence, creativity and attack. We're just about approaching the 60-minute mark. I think this is going to come down to fitness and their abilities to stay in this game mentally and physically.
I think they need to offload the ball, Eddie. They've got to. They might score one try against sometimes with a bit of good luck, but they're going to have to keep the ball alive to score a second.
4. Move, Joe. Back, James. Hold. Go 4.
Leeming finds Frawley.
That's okay.
Ball hits the deck again. He was under pressure. McIntosh picks it up. Walmsley was all over him. Back they come. They've lost a little momentum there, have the Giants. This is Gaskell. It's a nice little kick to the in-goal area, but that is too long.
20-0.
He had to be brave then, didn't he? Regan Grace then to just let that ball just roll over the sideline. It's a clever kick for him, Lee Gaskell. Here goes Regan Grace now.
Move, Michael. Hold. Goal 0.
Take it. Oh, big hit on personal. The ball is lost.
Well, Lee Gaskell, so that's the second time now in the last 2 sets of 6 that Saints have failed to get to the kick. First of all, there was the offload from Nguama. Then it's a one-up carry from Mark Percival and Lee Gaskell.
There were fingertips in there. There were fingertips in there from Gaskell.
I think sometimes Mark Percival and any player in that situation will run at a player, use the ball-carrying arm to bump the player away, and simply that defender, he's just tugging at the ball all the time, and he's disappointed. Is the centre, Mark Percival, but you see on the floor, Matty English, he was involved in a collision with Matty Lees. It was just slightly off the ball. The two young stags coming to meet each other. I don't think it's a clash or a collision. Might be one of those dead leg injuries where you catch a knee on the thigh, and Matty English, who's had a good game, another hot prospect.
Well,
in the British Super League.
Thinks that this is all coming back to haunt him after last week. Remember that Aaron Murphy, for instance, looked like he'd been in a car crash, and a couple of others went off in quick succession. It's happening again. There it is. Lees English with a collision off the ball. He looks in a bit of a mess. Face wreathed in pain.
He's okay. Sorry, Tez. He's an intimidator, isn't he, Matty Lees? I hope we get to see Matty Lees and Jack Ashworth on the field at the same time. Sometimes coaches with young players in the 17 might tend to rotate one for the other.
Well, they're running out of numbers again, Huddersfield.
James!
And they've got 2 converted try lead to make up. The Saints now swarming around them.
Hold.
This is Leeming. We've hit the hour mark, so a quarter of the game remaining. Gaskell offload, but not the best.
Good read in defence then from Mark Percival. He wedged in, forces that mistake.
We're talking about the injuries. Bill's got news on it all.
Well, Eddie, Sam Hewitt on the bench for the Giants is a very lonely figure because he's the only one on the sidelines at the moment. Joe Wardle's in the, is going to play no further part because of his head knock in the first half. Matangi's in the dressing room being analysed at the moment, being checked. It's not certain whether he's... There is Sam Hewitt. It's not certain whether Matangi's going to be able to come back. Now poor old Matty English has been carried up the tunnel to the dressing room. So it's one man standing on the sidelines for the Giants for the remainder of this game at the moment.
As Farge humps the ball high, and Uwati has dropped it under... He was never anywhere near that.
I'm telling you, the swirling wind, it's wicked in the corners. You see the corners of the stadium slightly open at the John Smith Stadium here at Huddersfield.
I've never caught a high ball in my life, but he looked like he was completely out of position.
Yeah, well, he's backing off. He's also got to contend with Saints players getting in his eye line as he's trying to position himself under that ball.
Well, at the moment, they look like they've got 14 fit men. Huddersfield, to see the last 18.5 minutes of this game out, it's a problem for Simon Wolford, and Luke Robinson's face tells its own story.
And it is a problem, Eddie, when you're making mistakes. You're backing up those mistakes. You're conceding sets of 6 and penalties as well because you're under fatigue.
Lomax, back it comes to Lachlan Coote. Lovely pass wide. This is Regan Grace, and Regan Grace gets the try. That could easily clinch it for the Saints. His 5th try of the season in the week that he signed that new contract until the end of 2021. Tries in 4 of the 5 so far before tonight, so that's 5 in 6 now. And Regan Grace, a real talent. The Welsh international, aiming, I'm sure, for a place in that Great Britain tour at the end of the year.
Well, one left winger couldn't take the ball, and the other left winger then goes on to score from it. Do you know what? I love to see trash on scrums and trash on wingers. This is a combination of both. Lomax's footwork, John Welsh may look at the end of the game, sets all of this up because it offers the time and space for Regan Grace's left winger to work his magic, run straight rather to the sideline. The pass from Coote's inviting, and from that play they had all of the backs on this side of the field. Obviously give themselves a chance for the overlap, and they found it. Not only did they find it, but he's got feet like the Ebenets here. He skips inside and makes sure that's a win for the Saints.
He's so intelligent. He knows that the cover from Lee Gaskell, his hips are heading towards the sideline. He's looking for that corner flag, Lee Gaskell, because he thinks there's going to be an acrobatic dive, but Regan Grace spins, pirouettes and scores 3 or 4 metres inside the corner flag.
Can Lachlan Coote add the extras? And the answer is no, he can't. He's pulled it in front of the posts. So 28-12.
Well, it's a good try from Saints, but the likes of Jermaine McGilvray and Jordan Turner, there's no communication here. They've both got eyes for Mark Percival, and you give that man some speed, you give that man some space. He's got the speed, he's got the power, and he knows how to finish a try.
Well, the Saints now, they know that they've got the best defence in Super League so far. They've conceded only 56 points in 5 matches prior to tonight, an average of 11 a game, so they're not far ahead of that here. And unusually, though, they've not scored more than 30 points in any game so far. And they've got the opportunity to right that tonight, and they've got that opportunity here from halfway because this ball's gone out in the fall. It's a penalty to Saints.
Well, there's one of those mistakes that Phil was talking about. I think if you listen to the pre-match comments of Justin Holbrook, Bill Arthur asked him, he said, do you want your side to be good in attack or good in defence? And he said, I want both. That's what he's focused on. And he's asking his side, don't neglect your defence, don't neglect your attack, don't put all your energy into both. Back your fitness, back your ability, and focus on both. And as we go into the last 15 minutes of this game, Tez has already talked about it. I said just after half-time, I feared for Huddersfield that in the manner that they had to stick in there, it will be fatigue and it will be fitness that wins this game.
Well, the NRL got underway this morning, and over the weekend, the next 2 days, 2 or 3 days, we have 2 more for you from the NRL as well. The Roosters and Souths tomorrow, 8:45, Sky Sports Arena. Here's a penalty for St Helens, and then on Sunday the Gold Coast against Canberra, which is a little bit of England down under, with 4 Englishmen playing, we think, for the Canberra Raiders.
Well, Cruz Lehman just staying a bit too long in that route there in Dominic Peru, knowing that it's essential that they slow Saints down now.
And Peru again takes it forward, first tackle. 15 minutes to go. Not many fit players on the sideline for Huddersfield. This is Ashworth.
Well, there's one for St Helens. He runs harder onto a ball than most players I've watched.
Well, they just lost the plot slightly there, did the Saints. And Huddersfield would be grateful for that. And what's more, they'd be even more grateful for this, which gets a standing ovation from the Huddersfield supporters in front of us, this penalty.
Well, not from Justin Holbrook, though. First of all, it's the mistake, then it's a penalty from the referee, something that's needed. Valuable field position here now for Huddersfield.
I think I just heard that Matty English might be coming back. Oh, sorry, Matangi. Sorry, Matangi might well be coming back for Huddersfield.
Well, it certainly helped the likes of Akuma Tai, wouldn't it? Michael Lawrence and Ikahihi Fort, and that man as well, Simon Wolford.
Well, here they come. They're going to examine this St Helens defence again here with Gaskell. He does well. but so too does Zeb Taylor to hold on to his ankles. Good no-look pass, good ball, good hands, McGilvray! Referee's not given it, it's a forward pass.
No, they thought they had them then, didn't they? The Huddersfield fans were all on the feet, and the ref was in decent field position. There's the forward pass from Jordan Turner to Jermaine McGilvray.
Just sneak forward, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it comes off the back of pressure from Regan Grace. He gets up. That rush defence, that attitude that St Helens have got. When everything breaks down, get up, get forward, and make it messy.
Wait there, Michael! Not until I tell you to, Johnny, all right.
James Roby coming off the field, we're just seeing back play.
We're in there.
Yeah, he's been taken off.
66 minutes. Is that half a shift for him?
Well, he didn't play last week either.
No. Needs his wages docking that lad.
Morgan Knowles now going into the hooking role.
Well, he's played there many times before. He played. He started last 9 of last year and played 4 of them in the hooking role. But Nagama, they can't put him down. They can't put him down. They have now.
Well, an awful lot of speed to get themselves out of trouble, haven't they, Saints?
And he is one of them. One of the speedsters, Makinson.
Not only are they quick out on the outside backs, they're very strong as well. All got good footwork.
There is Knowles. This is Joseph Paulo. He's been a substitute in each and every match so far. Fage. Back it comes to Lomax. Lomax gave himself away then, or gave himself up, because there was a possibility of an obstruction down the left-hand side. So took the tackle. Knowles to Walmsley. Fage, crossfield kick. Looking for Makinson. Makinson palms it down brilliantly to Dominic Peyrou. And Dominic Peyrou gets the try. The crowns for him, personally, an excellent display. But how about the leap from Tommy Makinson? It was like a salmon. Up he went, one-handed, plonked it down. And no wonder Peyrou goes to him and says, thanks very much. Dominic Peyrou with the try. And I think Saints' 100% record is safe.
Well, he can do so many things, can't he, Tommy Makinson? Alex Walmsley out the back to Theo Fage. You look at this for a kick. Lands straight on the button. Tommy Makinson can't take it in cleanly, even though he's under some pressure for Uwati. Well, that man, I think he's been sensational in this game, Dominic Peyrou. In defence, in attack, scores the try, and he's there to support his wingman. Comes up with the ball, gets over the try line, nice and easy.
And it's just worth highlighting the work from Morgan Knowles. You talked about the Lions tour at the end of the year. The most important and the most vital player on any tour is the one that can play in a number of positions. He's at loose forward, we've seen him in the back row, he's now operating at number 9 at hooker. And the Lions opens the avenues up for people like Ben Flower and Morgan Knowles, and let's hope they make the plane.
Well, Dominic Peyrou, 2 tries in a week, 1 against London last week, 1 tonight. Lachlan Coote has added the extras. They're over the 30-point mark for the first time this season, and Coote has just kicked 5 goals in a match for the very first time in his career.
Well, yeah, I suppose you could say, some might say, Dominic Peyrou gets a lucky bounce. I'll tell you what, there's no luck in the fact that he's run that hard to put himself closest to the ball when it does bounce up. You've talked about players' fitness. He seems to be fantastically fit, in great shape, and in wonderful confidence as well. I think one of the reasons why Justin Holbrook is so well respected and regarded as a coach, maybe even fancied by some NRL clubs eventually, is because he does manage to get the best out of players, and he's clearly done that with Dominic Peyrou.
Well, Theo Fage underneath the high ball again with a little bit of a fumble.
And let's not forget, it's maybe a debate for another time, that the job of a coach is not only dealing with the 17 players that take the field, it's those players who aren't lucky enough to make the side, making sure that they've got some instruction, they're motivated, they're dealt with and not ignored while they're on the outer, and he's done that on a number of occasions, Justin Holbrook.
I feel sorry for Huddersfield in many ways. They were 8 first-teamers short tonight, and they've lost a couple more here this evening to make Simon Woolford's interchange options limited. But look at that from Peyrou.
Yes, he's been really strong, and the Saints side have really dominated, scored 22 points without reply. Huddersfield just couldn't live with the pace from them.
Coote again. Another lovely kick to the in-goal area. Now then Frawley just take the ball over the line. That's exactly what he does.
It's just about building pressure, isn't it? Huddersfield know that they're not at the right end of the field to come up with those valuable points, and Coote, when he gets this ball away, look at that. In the field there, he's got 4, 5, 6 players that are chasing up, putting pressure on Frawley when he gets this ball, making him feel uncomfortable, and forcing the goal line drop out here to get some more pressure.
Are you ready, Lee? Time back on. Shot clock on.
There's the goal line drop out from Gaskell.
Play on.
Nagama takes it somewhat acrobatically.
One.
Gaskell seemed to run over the try line, didn't he then?
Here is Wormsley. Saints looking to really turn the screw.
Hold.
There's a little bit of salt to the wounds here with Fage and Lomax, will plonk the ball down easily, and St Helens march on at the top of the table. 38-12, 8 minutes to go. No wonder they are delighted, the Saints fans. Their team's in great shape in 2019. It was throughout 2018. They fell short when the big prizes came around. I just wonder what's going to happen later in the year.
Well, little things make a big difference. Watch what Morgan Knowles does. When he jumps out, he attracts defenders. A, B and C defenders, the ones closest to the ruck. Watch what he does. He brings them in, and that creates a little bit of space on the outside. And Johnny Lomax, who's had a fabulous game, keeps the ball up, keeps it above the ground, and plonks the try down.
He's a winner, isn't he, Johnny Lomax? Whatever position he plays, whatever he does, he goes at it 100 miles an hour, beats defenders, gets over the try line, and that just settles the nerves for this Saints side.
Another 4 points for Johnny Lomax, who has scored over 500 for St Helens in Super League now, and he's kicked 5 goals tonight for the first time in his entire career. Lachlan Coote, looks like it might be 6. And it is. And St Helens, who hadn't scored more than 30 against any opposition, despite their lead at the top of the table this year, have now hit the 40.
Well, if you're lucky and you're heavily involved in the game, you might have the ball for about a maximum of 3 minutes in the match. That means for about 77 minutes you don't have the ball. So what you do when you aren't in possession is vitally important. Johnny Lomax's movement off the ball there was vital in setting up that play. Very often I think that goes on to determine the winning teams here, the players who work so well off the ball rather than just around the tackles or the runs.
We're watching the league leaders here tonight. We'll see Warrington and Wigan tomorrow, and on Sunday a double-header. Hull Kingston Rovers against the Catalan Dragons, 5 minutes to 3 on Sunday afternoon, Sky Sports Arena, and on the same channel at 5 from the Betfred Championship, Toronto Wolfpack against the Batley Bulldogs. Some games of rugby league live on Sky this weekend. 3 from the NRL, 4 from the English game. That's not bad.
Goal 3.
I almost won't have enough time to watch it, Eddie. I'll have to sacrifice something else and find time to watch all the rugby league. But St Helens, and it's been a good tussle with Huddersfield Giants. St Helens, with just over 5 minutes left on the clock, will win this match. There's no doubt about that. But Huddersfield Giants will take some positives from this.
And on Sunday, just been pointed out to me, we're seeing teams from Australia, from Canada, France and England. Such is the international nature of the Super League and the Betfred Championship, and of course the NRL.
Wonderful stuff.
You'll find time, Barry, you never go out.
No.
Like the Olympic flame, you.
I'm just wondering what I'll sacrifice. St Patrick's Day on Sunday. I've got a very specific job on Sunday.
Oh dear. Yeah. And it doesn't involve anything athletic, by the way, apart from using his right arm to bring a glass to his lips. It is Lee Gaskell.
Goal 5.
That's McIntosh. Frawley goes high with the kick. Crossfield. Makinson's after it. Makinson pouches it. And it is senior, manages to get the tackle.
Well, Saints, you know what, they've been impressive. They've been challenged, and Justin Holbrook won't want to go through every game getting it their own way. When it comes to the big games, the end of the year, you want to make sure that you're fine and you can handle pressure. And I think Saints have shown in this game that they can handle the pressure early on in the year, but Huddersfield really give it a shake for the opening 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
Alex, make this 10.
Here's Knowles again. Alex Walmsley tucks the ball under his wing. Drags a couple of players 5-6 metres further forward with him. Plays the ball on the last. Up it goes from Lachlan Coote. This is swirling everywhere. Uarte, this time, positioned himself perfectly.
And it's relentless from Saints as well. Just looking at Alex Walmsley when he carries that ball, what goes through your mind as a defender with just 4 minutes to go in a game? You got him, you look at the bench when Matty Lees comes on, Jack Ashworth comes on, Luke Thompson. It's a constant damaging performance by Saints around the middle of the field.
It is. You had number 12 there, Joseph Paulo, into that mix as well. They were solid enough squad, St Helens. Runaway leaders by 6 points last year.
Yeah, but can they handle the pressure of the big games come? That's the question. Challenge Cup semi-final, Catalan, playoff semi-final, Warrington. And the greater they lead this competition by, the more the pressure and expectation as the season progresses.
Uarte down the line. I think Justin Holbrook will hope that Saints have learned hard lessons after last year. Crossfield kick. That's palmed back by St Helens. Palmed forward by St Helens. No, he said that. Oh, yes, he has. Again, the finger went up first one. The only one, Scott. You're confusing me. I'm confusing Barry.
When Mark Percival goes up there, you can see that he is under some pressure. His arms are high above Jordan Turner, but he makes a play for it, pushes that ball forward. Correct decision from the referee.
We're going to see a little bit of St Helens over the next week or so, because we see them next week. When we talk about the runaway leaders of 2018, which they were, the runaway leaders of 2017 lie in wait next week. Castleford. And that's at Cass. Mouth-watering stuff. Uarte down the line again, halted by Farge. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Huddersfield looking for consolation with Hewitt.
Hold.
We play the ball here once again to Leeming. Leeming will have a little dash. It's the pass away, but look at this St Helens defence. They know the game is won, but they don't want to concede any more than 12 and so not ruin their average.
You've got to have pride in your defensive line if you want to win anything in the season.
Sam Hewitt it was who felt that. Here's Leeming again. This is last one. Jordan Turner. Oh, he gets the ball down. That's a terrific drive from Jordan Turner. It's his second. Scott McLauskas hasn't given it yet. Maybe there's a doubt about the legs.
Can we check the touch?
Just want to check the legs in touch on this near side. He got the ball down okay. There wasn't any problem with that. He's got a try on the field, and this will tell us if he managed to keep his feet off the whitewash.
No, he's just on it. He's just on it, isn't he? Tries absolutely everything, Jordan Turner. You can see that his foot is on the white line. He's out of the field of play.
I was going to say it's a toenail. It's actually more than that. It's going to be no try. So St Helens maintain their average or thereabouts of concession this year. It was a brave effort though from Jordan Turner.
On the 10. You get that, Chris.
Look of
turn over there.
Well, just disappointment really for Simon Wolford.
Well, disappointed, especially with it. Would have felt confident at half-time, Eddie.
Yeah,
wouldn't he? And he's come out, he'd been blown away. And say the speed, the power of Saints in this second half. Obviously, the injuries that have affected Huddersfield as well, losing players. Some of them missing. Matangi back on the field now, but he had to go off with a head knock, didn't he, in this second half?
Jake Wardle was a late withdrawal earlier on today as well in the centres. He has a groin strain. We've got quite a list of players out. It's been a brave effort from them.
Well, the man who's at second mark, and then Sam Hewitt, it gives them opportunities, doesn't it, with so many players that are injured. Sam Hewitt, you got Innes Senior, who's involved in that tackle there. He's been up against Nguama, so they aren't playing against some of the best players, not just in Super League, but from around the world as well. Great experience.
I think we said there was 8 players missing for Huddersfield Giants.
I've got the list here before tonight. Waln, Cudjoe, Murphy, Ferguson, Clough, Wardle, Jake Wardle, Holmes and O'Brien.
Wow.
Tough run.
And Huddersfield Giants, down on some numbers, have met the best team in the competition. That goes without saying. They're in first place. They set the standard for the competition because they play with a level of intensity and they maintain that intensity even when they're under periods of stress and pressure. What they do is they stick with the teams in front of them. They keep going, and those levels of fitness and concentration and mental and physical fitness get them to the back end of the games, and in that final quarter, consistently, they are the strongest team.
Well, they've won by 40 points to 12, the first time they've got above 30 points this season. It was 16-12 to Saints at half-time. Therefore, St Helens, with their 4 tries, have kept Huddersfield pointless in the second half, and they had to wait 11 minutes for the first point of this second 40. That was the Lachlan Coote penalty. Then we had the try from Percival, his second of the match. Grace, Peyru and Lomax added more. Coote has kicked 6 goals, best effort of his career, and St Helens 100%. They march on at the top of the table, and the big question is, in 2019, can they be consistent as they were last year, but then add a little bit of the killer punch when it comes to the big games in the playoffs and the cup semi-finals, etc., at the end of the campaign. Okay, time to name the Betfred man of the match tonight. He comes from St Helens, of course. It is Johnny Lomax. He's with our bill.
Thanks, Eddie. Shiny new silver salver, Johnny. There you go. Congratulations on a man of the match performance. Second half tried to score one of them for Saints. The second half was almost a different story for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, obviously it's probably rewards of the hard work that we put in the first half. You know, it was a really tough contest, and probably the scoreline doesn't reflect how tough a game it was in the end. But you know, it's something we've spoken about, trying to get to the end of the sets, and you know, eventually we might, or hoping we can wear teams down, and you know, it's worked for us today.
The difference maybe was that you took your chances in the second half, whereas the first half it looked as though you're going to have one of those nights where you threw them all away.
Yeah, obviously it can look like that, but obviously Huddersfield scrambled really well, and you know, they worked hard to cut down them chances, and you know, credit to them, and I suppose that hard work took it out of them in the end, and we managed to get home.
You weren't going to be denied yours, were you? Reaching out for that.
Yeah, I managed to take a knee and somehow get my arm out, so obviously it's always good to get a try.
Still unbeaten, top of the table. It's a great start to the season.
Yeah, obviously it's a great start, and you know, we're happy with the way we're going, and we want to just keep trying to improve. You know, it's important to try and pick up points at this time of the year. The conditions aren't always great, and so if you can keep picking up them 2 points, you know, it's good for you in the end.
Puts you under a bit of pressure, doesn't it? You know, unbeaten league leaders. Nice position to be in.
Yeah, again, it's a nice position to be in. I suppose there's pressure anywhere you are in the table. You know, doesn't matter which end you are at the table. It's a tough contest every week, and you know, we just got to keep getting ourselves up and ready to go again. And you know, it'll be no different next week playing Cass.
You've got a cheque for £250, Johnny, for a charity of your choice. I think you've got a special cause to give that to.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to a charity called Jack's Packs, which is a young lad who passed away, and you know, it's someone that the family that I knew. He used to give out stuff to the homeless around Liverpool, but it's close linked to True Rehab as well, which is for brain injury awareness, so which is really close to my heart as well. So give it to Jack's Packs.
Well done, Johnny.
Cheers, thanks, Bill. Thank you.
Simon Wolford is the Giants coach. Let's have a quick word with him. And I mean, a tale of two halves to your side, Simon. You know, in the fight at half-time, and it slipped away.
Yeah, look, I thought our first half we let ourselves down a couple of times on the try line. They scored a couple of tries that we'd have liked to have done better, but as far as our effort and our intent, you know, it was first class in that first half. And you know, the second half was a different story. We weren't able to build any pressure. A lot of passes from our halves went to ground, and you know, you look at the way they controlled their second half. Their kicking game was fantastic, and they suffocated us. And once again, we leaked too many points in that second half.
Was the fatigue anything to do with it? Because you were running out of numbers. You know, Joe Wardle off the field, Matty English had to come off, Matangi had to come off, putting you under pressure.
Yeah, look, it does. I mean, you know, obviously we put in a massive effort last week against Wigan, so losing Joe Wardle, he was the big one. Losing him was a big blow for us. He's been fantastic for us, but, you know, it's still no excuse for some of the points we leaked in the second half. I mean, I think we made every schoolboy error possible in that second half, and you can't do that against any team, let alone St Helens. So they punished us and we deserved it.
But you can still take credit, certainly up until half-time. I mean, that's credit for that effort.
Yeah, look, it does, whether you win or lose, you've got to look at the positives, and there were certainly plenty of positives for us in the first half, but you know, we sort of let ourselves down. All the good things we did in the first half, we came out in the second half and we couldn't replicate it, so that's been an ongoing concern of ours, and we need to be better.
Thanks, Simon.
Thanks, mate.
Well, we can hear from Dominic Peyrou now, just having a word with Kyle Amor, who didn't make the cut tonight. Dom, come and have a quick word. You pushed Johnny Lomax very close for the man of the match. He just got the nod.
Oh, yeah. Did he get it?
He got it, I'm afraid.
Well, I was expecting to get it. No, jokes.
Second try of the season and a storming game.
No, he played well. We always knew that Huddersfield were going to come up, you know, up for it, and, you know, obviously with that win against Wigan. So, yeah, we're obviously just had to work hard and, you know, bit scrappy in the first half, but you know, we got there in the end.
Did you make life a bit hard for yourselves in the first half? You know, there were one or two chances that weren't taken.
Yeah, definitely. I think we made too many errors, to be honest. But you know, like I said, second half we done better, and we came away with the win, which is, you know, the most important thing.
Well, exactly. Still unbeaten, top of the table.
Yep.
Great position to be in.
Yeah, it's awesome, but you know, it's obviously still the beginning, and we've still got a long way to improve, and you know, obviously we're in a good position, like you said, but yeah, we're still improving like every other team.
Thanks for talking to us. You're going to go and just have an argument with Johnny Lomax now, who really deserved it.
Yeah. You'll probably have to shout me a pint or something after this. Yeah.
Have a good night.
Yeah, see.
Dominic Peyrou, and here's his coach, Justin Holbrook. Happier with the second half performance?
Oh, definitely. No, I was happy with the first half. I just thought we didn't convert a few chances, and you know, we took those chances in the second half, and, you know, yeah, really happy.
It's always going to be like that, isn't it? When you have a start like this, people are going to expect perfection.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what I said at half-time. I understand you're not going to take all your chances. That's why I was okay with that with the team. I didn't want us to get worried about that or put us off what we had to do in the second half. And that's the pleasing thing about how we've started this season. And, you know, we play with a lot of patience. And if we miss a few chances, we don't let it affect us and we get on with it. And that's, as a coach, that's the most pleasing thing.
It's better to be creating them than and not taking them and not creating them at all.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But you know, Huddersfield credit, they stopped those chances. So, but yeah, you know, in the second half, I thought, you know, really happy with how we went about the whole half.
Of course, top of the table, unbeaten. Does this momentum bring with it a bit of pressure as well? Because the expectation on the outside is that you'll keep this going.
Well, I don't know, to be honest. As I said before the game, we work hard all week as coaches and players to prepare to win the game that is next, and that's why I'm, you know, going to continue doing that, and, you know, and enjoy it. So, you know, the players are working so hard, and they're getting the rewards for it. So, you know, in particular, blokes like Dom Peyrou, you know, going back a while now, when I first come over, it took him a while, you know, and he's just been one of our best every week, you know, since I've been here. So it's great reward for those type of guys.
Thanks a lot. See you at Castleford. Should be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a great night. Absolutely. Cheers.
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, Castleford away. Next game coming up for Justin Holbrook. Hull Kingston Rovers at home is who Huddersfield will face next. Okay, confirmation: 7 tries for St Helens, 2 for the Huddersfield Giants, 40 points to 12 in the end. Perfect start to the season for the Saints. Here's a look at the full-time statistics. Well, completion rate for Huddersfield naturally dropped off in that second half. Far more defence for them to do. Meters heavily in favour of St Helens. Handling errors, not much in that particular stat. Okay, we can go to John Wells now. 4-point half-time lead for the Saints. They hit 40 for the first time this season in the second half. John, take us through that second 40 minutes.
Yeah, thanks very much, Brian. Just before we have a look at the tries and the highlights from the second half, it's worth picking up on something that Justin Holbrook said, and that was, you know, in the dressing room at half-time, he told his players that he understood that that his team is not going to take every chance. It's very rare a team does, isn't it, in a game with two teams playing in it. But I think it just speaks volumes of the confidence he has in his players and the pressure that must relieve, particularly from the playmakers. They're obviously in a very, very good place as a team, as it showed with 24 unanswered points in the second half. The first of those was from the boot of Lachlan Coote on the 51st minute, and then Percival picking up his second of the match on the 53rd minute. That took the scores out to 12 points to 24. 2 converted tries, now the difference. Fast forward another 8 minutes and Regan Grace in directly from the scrum. Another beautiful ball in the build-up to this one. Lachlan Coote, will come back to him in just a second as Regan Grace celebrates his new deal with a try. 12:28. Missed chance, forward pass judge there in the build-up from Turner to McGilvray, and they made them pay for that as well. Dominic Peyrou scoring from a beautiful tip back from Tommy Makins. So boy, does he do that well. Climbs above a Kuyuate. Peyrou takes it out to 34 points to 12, and the final points of the evening scored by your man of the match, Johnny Lomax, who stepped through and kept his feet dotted down. 12 points to 40. It's significant, and then that Huddersfield were kept scoreless in the second 40 minutes. My game breaker this evening is Lachlan Coote. We had a brief discussion at the start of the show, Brian, about Ben Barber and what he offered to St Helens last year, and for all the mercurial individual brilliance and flair that he brought, that's where the comparisons should end. They're both fullbacks. They're very, very different players. We did mention how astute he was, a kicker in general play. 75% from the tee as well this evening, so he's obviously a significant contributor everywhere. But it's a couple of issues, a couple of bits rather, that I want to pick up on. There was a kick that led to the Percival try, so he kicks out of dummy half, but these kicks, it may look as this, that there's a look in this, and there is, certainly, with the way that the ball's held up. You know, he would probably even say he's not meant to do this, but what he has is put it in an area of the field that he knows there's going to be space. Here's your top winger, your full-back is sat deep, so he's put it in behind Jermaine McGilvray. What I will say is that when he realises that's not going out, he's the first person. This is Lachlan Coote. He's the man who's kicked the ball. It's the first person to make contact with Jermaine McGilvray. He skips by him, but then the rest of his teammates come to his rescue. McGilvray attempts the offload and Percival dots down. That's exceptional. This is even better. What Johnny Lomax does on the catch here is great. Just have a look at Johnny Lomax in the build-up to this one. Just taking it into the teeth of that line, and what that does now to the defence. This defence is now working sideways. They are not working forwards. That gives Lachlan Coote time, and this is the sign of a good player. It's a sign of a player who's very, very aware of his own skill set and what he's capable of doing. Because have a look now at what he does to this defensive line. He waits, patience, and then as soon as he sees the defensive line make their play, he finds the right ball. That's a very, very difficult skill to do in live time. That's probably half a second there to make his decision. And final one, this may seem like an odd clip to finish on, but again, Lachlan Coote here finding the space, is able to put the ball in an area of the field where there's nobody there to gather. Very, very well weighted kick and a try, of course, off the back of that. So Lachlan Coote, very, very different skill set to the current man of steel, Ben Barber, but equally as impressive at the start of the season and equally as valuable for St Helens.
Thanks very much, John. Yeah, Justin Holbrook purring in the press in recent weeks when asked about Lachlan Coote's progress as he slots into this St Helens side. Well, it's just getting better and better. It's as you were. Round 6 started with Saints on top, Huddersfield at the bottom of the table, and it will stay the same. The gap now between the two sides, 10 points. We have a top 5 playoff in 2019. Saints, well, they're going a long way early on to cementing their spot in that top 5. Right, joined in studio by Phil Clark, who was commentating during that 80 minutes. Sum it up first, Phil. First of all, from a Huddersfield perspective for the home side, much to take away from that, much positive?
I would say the positives were the performances of the young players. Innis Senior, Matthew English, they did particularly well. Sam Hewitt as well. I thought that was pretty good. They lost a few players with injury, and at the end, I think the class that St Helens brought to this game was the reason why there was such a difference in the scoreboard at the end.
Can we read anything into the fact that Huddersfield have been in games? That's about the 4th game now that they've been in at half-time, just after half-time, and fade away at the end. People will try and dress that up as they're not fit. They fade away in the second half.
Yeah,
sometimes
Maybe
that's
in
trying to
previous matches,
put too much of a narrative on it.
Perhaps concentration. I think in this game, I think it was just class. Don't forget the power that Thompson and Walmsley brought to that first half. They did really well to hold them out. They obviously conceded 2 softish tries in the first half where they ran through the middle of them. But generally speaking, St Helens are red hot, and the challenge for Justin Holbrook is to keep his team in exactly that position. That's not an easy thing to do because they're firing so well at present.
Well, they did it last year, didn't they? I mean,
not in every single game, though, either.
No, you made the point about the semi-finals, but they did keep the foot down for almost the entire season. Finished league leaders, finished clear. They lost 2 semi-finals. That's true. They lost 2 knockout games, but otherwise they were far and away the best side of 2018.
And that message that he gave his side at half-time about not panicking, don't become frustrated when we do miss opportunities, might be something that they're trying to prepare for when they get to the pressurised games, because when you do make mistakes in those knockout matches, sometimes you do become tense and you realise the clock's ticking against you and your chances are slipping away. So learning to deal with that. But they do look a class side. And Theo Fage, Johnny Lomax won the man of the match, but Theo Fage, several of the players really stood out and could have been contenders for that. His kicks for some of the games, they look a very well-balanced team.
Yeah, balance obviously the key word for that. Yeah, Justin Holbrook will be absolutely delighted. 6 from 6 to start the season. Here's what we've got coming up for you on Sky Sports. Hope you can join us tomorrow. We have a double header. Starts with the NRL game between the Sydney Roosters and South Sydney. Trent Robinson against Wayne Bennett, 8:45 a.m. on Sky Sports Arena. And then Bad Blood is how it's being billed between the Warrington Wolves and Wigan Warriors, 7 p.m. Sky Sports Arena, a repeat of last year's grand final. Well, the Warriors will be desperate for a victory. 3 games for you on Sunday. NRL, Betfred Super League and Betfred Championship. It all starts off with the English contingent at the Canberra Raiders taking on the Gold Coast Titans. 7:05 a.m. Sky Sports Arena. Same channel, 2:55 p.m. Tim Sheen's Hull Kingston Rovers host the Catalan Dragons. Steve McNamara will be desperate for a response to their last performance. And it will finish on Sunday with the Toronto Wolfpack taking on the Batley Bulldogs. That's 5 p.m. Sky Sports Arena. 5 more rugby league matches coming up for you here on Sky Sports. Well, thanks very much for your company. My thanks to Phil Clark as well. The Giants, a valiant effort. Injuries probably put the pay to their efforts or their chances in the end. But for the Saints, 6 games into the season, they go marching on.
Pass to Luke Thompson. Luke Thompson is over for the try. They get the ball out wide to McGilvery. This one Morgan Knowles gets the second try for St Helens. Goes wide, and here's a chance. It's a try. Roby goes down the short side, finds Lomax. Dab in, looking for Percival. Finds Percival. Inch. Perfect. They've lost the ball. They've lost the ball.